I think everyone should attend Content Marketing World.
Content Marketing World is the gold standard of content conferences.
It's the best 3 days in the world.
I've been to a lot of different content strategy, content marketing events, but it feels like this is the real one.
This is the top of the top. This is where the folks that are experts and the experts in content marketing come.
The vibe at Content Marketing World is definitely unique because everybody comes here eager to learn.
Fun content that's educational. A lot of good, frameworks, tips and tricks coming out of it.
Content Marketing World does a really good job of staying relevant with the industry trends.
What I love about it too is it goes across industries, so you're able to learn so much and it's not just focused on one thing.
It's a lot of fun just to hear the magic that's happening at other organizations.
And what's great about it is there's always practical tips and gems that you can take back and apply it to the work you're doing.
One of the reasons why I come to Content Marketing World, to network.
To be able to talk to people who might have been feeling or doing or experiencing the same things that we're going through is incredibly helpful.
There's something really powerful about a room full of people all sort of talking and being like, yeah, that's something that we're dealing with. How are you doing? What are your approaches? And it just forces you to think about it in a way that's much more meaningful.
The community is phenomenal. It's almost like a family reunion.
I love the fact that I feel welcome the moment I walk in. People are smiling at each other.
It's not often you find a place that you're with so many strangers, but they all feel like friends.
People are connecting, people are collaborating, people are looking for ways to expand beyond this event.
This is where the true community for this space lives.
If it's one event that you go to throughout the year, I think it should be this one. I'm going to come back next year and bring my team.
If you work in content marketing, or if you want to work in content marketing, this is the place to be.
Join us for Content Marketing World 2025, September 15th through the 17th in San Diego.
Hello, everyone. Good afternoon. This is Amanda with the Content Marketing Institute. I'm so happy that you are all joining us for this episode of Live with CMI, and I'm excited, as always, to be joined by my colleague, JK. JK, how are we doing today?
I am fantastic, and somehow I always get busted dancing to our theme song whenever the camera comes on.
I wasn't even trying to bust you. Did I bust you?
No, I'm doing fantastic. I'm just loving the springtime weather. We always have to do JK's weather report at the beginning of every release.
We should start calling it JK's weather report.
That's right. That's right. I miss my calling. No, I'm doing fantastic, and I'm really, really excited for today's show. There's a lot of great stuff we're going to be chatting about.
Yes, and thank you to all of you for joining us today. So let's face it, we are all looking for the fastest, the easiest way to get things done, and search is no different. And that's what people get with Google AI's overviews. But that has a few implications for marketers. So we need to adjust our search and content strategies to keep up with attracting online audiences. And we hope to get some help today, right, JK?
That's right. Joining us today to help us get there, we're sitting down with Belinda Conde from Datos. I want to make sure I said that right. She's going to chat about Google's AI overviews and they're changing the rules and what content marketers need to do about it.
Yes, this should be great today. But before we get to all that, as always, we want to let you know that this live stream is brought to you by the Content Marketing Institute. And if you don't know who we are yet, we are the leading training and education for all things content and marketing. So you can head over to contentmarketinginstitute.com and check out all of our great resources, research. We have a lot of great digital events. Of course, Content Marketing World, which we'll talk about a little bit later. So head over there and check that out. And of course, as always, when you join us today, please give us a virtual wave, say hello, let us know where you're joining us from. We really want to hear from all of you. And of course, it makes for a more engaging live stream. So feel free to drop a question or comment in the comment section as we go along. If you got a question for your guest, we will try to get to it as best as we can. And Saj says here, it was some elite head bobbing, JK. So.
Thank you, Saj. I do my best.
You don't want to see him after he's had a little, but or with an Elvis costume on. So,
I like to keep it interesting.
Yes. I should have popped up a picture of that from Content Marketing World, JK and his Elvis costume. But before we get to all of that, we want to start off today with our segment about what made us smile this week. So we like to share something that is a little uplifting from the week. And if you were on LinkedIn, then you probably know all about this controversy that's been going on over the use of M dashes. Many writers love to use them. I am one that loves them as well. But now so does AI, JK. So when people see a post or comment with M dashes, they automatically assume it was written by AI. So we would love to know what all of you think. So are you a fan of M dashes? Do you think it's all AI? What do you think about this controversy? Feel free to drop that into the comments for us. But we spotted a funny video this week about this controversy. Ian Evans with TLDV shared this video. Let's take a look here.
But it was me who invented AI. For the attention. Right here? Is that okay? Hi there. I am the M dash. And I actually created AI to increase my usage in modern writing. I'm not a hyphen. I'm not an N dash. But I mean, writers love me. Hemingway, bit of a critic. Dickinson, though. It was summer '67, actually. They invented the typewriter. You know what they forgot? Then came the computer, and I thought that was good. I mean, people could get some formatting process. The problem was that people still have to choose the M. You know, not everybody knows that if you hit the hyphen twice, you get an M. So I said to myself, I said, Emmett, my full name is Emmett. I said, this is not what your story is. If people weren't choosing the M dash, I was going to choose it for them. So, took out the middleman, made AI. People are cheap, they'll use anything. Write me an essay, okay. Draft me a LinkedIn post, sure. They won't be good, but they'll use M dashes.
Are you worried people are noticing AI uses loads of M dashes?
No. Every marketer worth their salt knows that the person you want to be in a fight
right?
AI is not. People don't know this, but it was me who invented AI.
So good, right?
I can't get over this guy, and I love how he says, "My name's Emmett." But creating just the way he kicks it off, it's like I little do you know I created AI, and just to set the precedence for this hilarious video, and then on top of everything else, how he progressively keeps drinking during the whole, if you notice, he drinks all the wine and then he starts with martinis.
I didn't even notice that. That's funny.
The interviewer ends up passing him a martini later on. But what made me really laugh about this at the end is when they said, honestly, I don't even he's like, I don't even know. I hated English class.
Yeah. It was great. So Stephanie says she just heard about this last week, so she's been removing them ever since. So she must be a fan of the M dash, and now she found out that apparently we get people think that AI is writing it. Kim, I know. Kim loves them too. We do too.
Yes, Kim. We need to buy you a shirt that says that.
So that was a great little video. So we'll drop a link so you can check out Ian's video there as well. But yeah, I don't know. I don't know why something like that has to be such a controversy. So
we're marketers. We have to argue about something, right?
I guess that's one way to look at it, JK. All right, well, let's get to today's guest. If for some reason you don't know what they are, AI overviews are a search feature that uses those little generative AI to provide those quick little answers. So if you type into Google, you will see them usually pop up there at the top, and they are on the rise, which means it's changing the way people get their information from search. So we need to know what that means for our content and SEO strategies, right, JK?
That's right. So we're excited to welcome, as I said before, we're so excited to welcome Belinda Conde, a marketing professional with extensive experience in various leadership roles. She's currently serving as Senior Vice President of Marketing at Datos, a Semrush company. Welcome, Belinda.
Hi, both. Thank you so much for having me. I'm super excited to join you today.
Great, thank you. So let's get started here. What can you tell us about what you are seeing with how AI overviews are impacting search traffic right now?
Yeah, absolutely. So we recently published a study with Semrush where we did a super long deep dive on what AI overviews are doing right now and how that's affecting traffic. And according to that data that we used and analyzed for that study, we see that as of March of this year, around 13% of all Google queries are resulting in AI overviews. So just about 13%. Now that, interestingly, is a stat that had been doubled when we look back at the data for January. So looking at just January of this year, 2025, it was roughly half of that 13% mark that we're seeing in March. So what that tells us is that the AI overviews are rapidly expanding and that the users are obviously seeing value from it, and therefore Google's investing more and more into further rolling out AI overviews for other types of queries. What is interesting to note is that AI overviews currently appear for the vast majority of AI overviews appear for mostly informational queries that are very top of funnel, informational driven, and just kind of like quick answers, and users just getting quick answers for some very straightforward questions. Another thing to mention is that as of now, we don't see any data or any stats to tell us that any AI overviews are appearing for any terms that are currently used for, say, ads or for more kind of bottom of funnel intent-driven keywords. Of course, if you think about it, why would Google cannibalize their own source of income that way? But mirrors this kind of Google's rollout mirrors very much the early days of feature snippets, where we would see that those feature snippets started to appear for top of funnel informational queries, and then started rolling out for other types of queries too. So I'd be interested in seeing how that plays out. But I don't say, from my perspective, I don't think that Google would run to implement any AI queries or AI overviews for any queries that are more intent driven or that are currently being used highly in, say, Google Ads campaigns, because of course it wouldn't make sense.
So now that they're rolling this out and you're seeing the numbers go up, what are some of the first things that we need to do when we're like adapting our content and SEO strategies to, you know, to optimize our stuff for these AI overviews?
Yeah, absolutely. Well, one of the main things I want to highlight is that I see a lot of panic in the marketing world right now regarding AI overviews, and a lot of comments saying, oh, is traditional SEO dead? Should we just discard everything we've been doing up until now, that it's mostly driven, or that was mostly efforts to get more traffic, because we're not going to get more traffic because of the AI overviews? Well, no, absolutely not. The good news is that SEO and traditional SEO, be it just SEO from the marketing side or the content side, or like the more technical SEO, those best practices are still very much super important in the AI overviews world, both because, as we've seen through our data and our analysis, we see that roughly about 52% of those AI overviews are actually citing sources that were ranking previously organically within the top 10 results. So of course, being organically ranked within the top 10 results is going to guarantee you having more chances of being included in that AI overview. But beyond that, if you put that aside, the traditional SEO best practices, both from a kind of content perspective and a technical SEO perspective, there is so much overlap of those traditional best practices within SEO for AI optimization too. So all those kind of, if you think about it, the EEAT framework, having your content follow that expertise, experience coming from an authoritative source and from a trusted source, that is going to help you both within the SEO world, but also for the AI optimization result. Then also thinking about the structure, the way we structure content following that H1, H2, there's just so much overlap. Of course, having good quality backlinks to your content and your site. The only main differences that I see, at least for now, in regards to traditional SEO versus AI optimization is that within the AI optimization world, you want to be optimizing your content for longer tail keywords. You want to be answering directly the main question that people would have to land on that content piece within the first paragraph. And you want to have a very concise, straight answer that the AI can then scrape and copy, pretty much kind of copy paste into their own AI overview results. And I will also say that structure is very, very critical, like I mentioned, and the importance of FAQs, how-to articles and bullet points is also becoming very, very crucial, as we know that AI just wants to crawl and get those specific snippets straight into that AI overview. So make it as easy as possible for the AI or LLM to understand your content, and you'll have higher chances of actually getting cited.
So if we aren't referenced, this is kind of going along with that. If we don't show up, we're doing searches, our competitors are in there. So, how do we make it anything to add to that? More likely that our content is going to be used in that overview?
Absolutely. And this is something that I feel a lot of marketeers and a lot of content marketeers are currently worried about or currently thinking about or investing a lot of time and effort into seeing what's the best way to get cited. Well, the first thing I would advise anyone to do is please just take a step back. I know that it's exciting and that it's scary and we all may be in a panic, but please just take a step back and just think, is it really worthwhile? Is this really a worthwhile effort for my team and my resources? Because I'm sure none of us have limitless resources. So just think of your company's or your brand's North Star. What is it, and how do you want to achieve or get closer to that goal by being featured in an AI overview? If you think that you can get closer to your personal or your brand's or your company's goal through being featured in an AI overview, also define which ones are going to be worth your effort and your resources. I'm sure not all of them will be equally as important. So it's very important that you kind of choose and pick your battles wisely, because there's just going to be endless amounts of AI overviews produced that could be applicable to your brand, but not all of them are going to be equally as valuable. To provide, for instance, a quick example, here at Datos, we mostly provide clickstream data, which is our main product. However, we do not appear in the AI overview for what is clickstream data. And you know what? I don't actually want to appear in that AI overview, because the users that are going to be searching for what is clickstream data are quite likely not within our ICP. However, for the AI overview of applications of clickstream data in finance, or another query that I was playing around with the other day, that was YouTube user behavior in-app versus browser. Datos, our content is being listed within the top 1 or 2 sources for that AI overview. And that AI overview is the AI overview that I have identified that is actually worth our effort and that I actually want to rank for. That type of traffic is the type of traffic I want from our site. We don't need to panic, say, about having less traffic overall. What we need to prioritize is having qualified traffic. And in this case, the qualifying process happens directly through the AI overview. So keep that in mind and choose wisely which kinds of AI overviews do you want to be ranking for which purpose. And then beyond that, in terms of like how do you actually then get featured into the AI overview, it's very important that your site is crawlable and indexable, have your technical SEO foundation very, very solid and in place. Rework some of your existing content, especially if you're already getting some good organic SEO results. For any existing content, it's really important that you update it and refresh it. We know that AI prioritizes timely data and information. So anything that's like already ranking well, if you update it, I'm sure you can be ranked even more. Keep in mind that EEAT framework for producing content. Prioritize your own team's expertise and experience. And I would say also, if you have any long content pieces, it's worth reworking a little bit, having those long paragraphs broken down into more digestible sections, lots of like smaller paragraphs with its own headings. Definitely use the bullet points. And like I said, answering the main question that content piece is going to solve within the first paragraph. It's probably something that you've not thought of before, or something that wasn't best practices before. But now in the AI overviews era, it's probably going to help you get cited.
Saj has a question here. Did you consider non-click content in your analysis? What I'm hearing seems pretty much like SEO current and best practices. Answer the question, provide detail, comprehensively answer the question.
Yeah, of course, absolutely. We did consider zero-click search as part of the AI overviews analysis. What we did find, and I'm sure we can probably drop the link to that study in the comments. There's a lot of graphs and charts within that study that you'll see. What we did find is that, of course, there is a correlation between AI overviews and queries that result in AI overviews and zero-click search or zero-click traffic, so the reduction in clicks for those queries that provide AI overviews. However, it kind of makes sense because those queries were very much informational. So about 90% of the current AI overviews are being produced for queries that are informational or something very much like fact-based. So someone getting a quick answer, of course, why would they click through to any website when they were already served the answer from the AI overview? And again, in my opinion, there's so many ways to look at this. Zero-click traffic or zero-click search, in my opinion, is not necessarily an inherently bad thing. There are so many ways, there's so many other ways for users to get to your website and to know about you. You're still going to sell your products, and the users are going to continue to have the same needs. It's just the path to get in there. It's going to possibly look a bit different. And that's where PR and digital PR and getting backlinks to your site and investing into AI optimization for your content is going to be very, very crucial. And at the end of the day, what you're going to see is even if the overall traffic volume is lower, the traffic that you're going to end up getting is possibly quite more likely to convert, because they may already have been qualified, be it by the AI overview itself, or if it's, say, like a referral from an LLM or from ChatGPT or Perplexity. It's quite likely they're already aware about your products, your services, and they almost say ready to convert.
So let's chat a little bit about like industries. So are there certain industries that are more affected than others? And like, does it matter what kind of content types, like for example, like text versus video? Is there any specific industries that are kind of being targeted a little bit more than others?
Yeah. So what we've seen from analyzing the recent data in our study with Semrush, we saw that science, health, people, society, and law and government were the most affected industries by AI overviews. Whereas as opposed to that, we've got news, sports, and very timely topics that are less affected. Of course, Google tends to prioritize very accurate and timely information for those types of like news and sports related queries. So having the AI overview pull something in relation to news and sports or something very timely could run the risk of providing inaccurate information, pulling from outdated sources. So again, it makes sense. And regarding content type, we are seeing that AI and LLMs are getting increasingly better at parsing text through video and audio and images and all sorts of other content pieces. So again, video is still the king, I would say. And in regards to AI overviews, you can very much still use video as the AI systems are getting better at parsing text from video. And again, content formats wise, I'd say keep prioritizing very well structured content, FAQs, how to articles, and just increasing video is always a great idea, be it for AI specifically or just for like organic engagement.
You touched on this a little bit when you answered that question, but between the AI overviews, between ChatGPT, etc., what are your thoughts here? Are we totally entering a post-click, zero-click world, or are we still have a chance there?
In this context, I'd say that we've also seen a lot of speculation whether, say, traditional search, is it completely gone because we now have AI search too. And at Datos, we've actually done so many other analysis where we compare AI search versus traditional search. And traditional search is not going to be dethroned anytime soon. It's still very much prevalent and relevant, and people are not stopping using Google, say. Equally, I don't think we're entering a zero-click search era where no one's going to click on anything. Of course not. In fact, in our Semrush analysis, we did see that zero-click search actually didn't decrease immediately after the AI overviews were introduced, pointing us to the hypothesis that whenever users are ready to do deeper research and they want to be better informed, they do actually click. And it's quite likely that they end up clicking on the links that I cited within the AI overview itself, or even just further down on the organic results. So no, absolutely not. We're not going to enter an era where there's going to be absolutely zero clicks anytime soon, at least. But what is important is to keep in mind that, of course, the landscape is shifting. I know this is very disruptive. I know that the way users access information and the way Google displays that information is changing. If you think about it, let me just offer a different perspective on the flip side. AI overviews, of course, benefit several different parties, right? They would benefit Google, of course, because it keeps users within their platform. It would benefit, of course, the end user because you get your results and your answers to the questions that you had super efficiently, super fast, without any friction because you don't need to click on any links. But shouldn't it also benefit you as the brand that's potentially going to be cited in that AI overview, or that's already being cited in that AI overview? At the end of the day, as marketeers or as content marketeers, what we want to do is serve our audience content that is value driven. We want to solve their questions. We want to provide them with valuable content before asking anything in return out of them. So isn't that also in favor somewhat of the content marketers and of course of the brands that are being cited in that AI overview? And on top of that, getting that reputational boost from having an AI cite you as a source. We are in this era right now, I feel, that consumers still kind of see any outputs that AI give them as very reliable sources of information. Say the moment that we start seeing ads within AI platforms, or the moment we start seeing sponsored results in ChatGPT outputs, I don't think that perception is going to last very long. So right now there is a specific moment in time where brands have a huge opportunity to organically win those AI mentions, and for the consumer perspective to still be very much a perception of, I trust this as a reputable, unbiased source of truth. So again, more traffic does not equal more sales. Think also about all the traffic all the low quality traffic you would have been getting before the AI overviews, causing super high bounce rates to your site that you're already like avoiding by having that AI overview in place. I'd say that more qualified traffic can lead to more sales, but more qualified traffic in terms of a number does not mean more sales necessarily.
That's a good point about the and also I'm curious to see about the trustworthiness of the AI. I'm also curious to see like I see my kids or my nieces and nephews who are like 13, 14, 15. Instead of going to Google, they go to GPT first. So be curious to see how things, as they grow and how it sort of develops. But it is an interesting thing to watch how they are using it now, different than what we search Google. So it's just it's going to be an interesting field to watch for sure.
Yeah. All right, so I do have one more question for you about your research that you just released. Were there any additional major takeaways, but more importantly, any surprises that came out of the research that you did?
There was one where we've got a graph in the study that actually shows a slight increase in clicks post AI overviews, which was interesting, like I mentioned, and just goes to show and demystify this perception and this panic that we have that we're going to run out of clicks and there's not going to be any clicks. No, actually, we did see a slight increase in clicks. So it goes to show also that, say, from Google's perspective of keeping the user longer on the Google platform, that also encourages people potentially to scroll further down and go into a deeper research. Of course, not for things that are very factual based, but whenever it comes to actually, say, the awareness stage of buying a high end or high consideration product, it's quite likely that because you're being kept on Google for a bit longer and the AI overview cites so many different links, it kind of would make sense that for certain types of queries that where brands should actually be betting because it's kind of high intent or quite likely to buy, that the clicks would actually appear to have increased a little bit.
Interesting.
All right. Well, that was a lot of stuff.
Yeah, I'm looking at our comment section. I'm like, wow, people are. We have
a lot of great information there, Belinda. So we already dropped some of the links in there, but the links will be dropped in there as well. Stephanie, let me just show this. So Stephanie says, we've seen a huge uptick in impressions, but far fewer click-throughs. So we're trying to figure out what's next.
Like I said, if you think about, because we can't really quantify or qualify that decrease in traffic, it could be very low quality traffic that you actually should be grateful for avoiding, and the type of traffic that would cause higher bounce rates, or someone literally, if it was someone just looking for a quick answer and they had to land on your blog but exit immediately because they already highlighted the phrase within the blog, it's literally the same thing. That didn't provide any value to your brand anyway. And just think also about all the opportunities of getting your brand mentioned and positioned outside of your own domains. So think about social media and community and getting the conversation online going around other different types of topics, building kind of human first content that's going to be absolutely crucial in the AI world. I mean, an AI is never going to be able to tell you a story about something that happened to them 3 years ago and what they learned from it. So prioritizing just that human touch through your content pieces, I think is going to be one of the main differentiators in the post-AI era that is actually going to get people engaged and participating and sharing and commenting. So in terms of this, I like to always reference back to Rand Fishkin at SparkToro, who's a great friend of ours here at Datos, and he has an amazing platform called SparkToro that I always recommend for any analysis of seeing where you could be joining conversations that are very much relevant to your brand and to your ICPs outside of your own proprietary channels. And those conversations, I think, are going to spark the biggest change in the post-AI world.
All right. That's a good place to end. Thank you, Belinda. Thank you to everyone for your questions and your comments to help us out here today. Belinda, where can people find you or learn more about you or Datos?
Absolutely. Thank you so much for having me. It's just flown by. It's been so quick from my perspective. Feel free to add me on LinkedIn. My name is Belinda Conde, and I'm the SVP of Marketing here at Datos. And if you'd like to learn more about Datos and what clickstream data is, instead of Googling it and getting the AI overview, you can go to Datos.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much, Belinda. We appreciate it.
Thank you so much.
Have a good rest of your evening there. Thank you. All right. So let's Yeah, that was a lot of good information there.
It really was. And like I mentioned earlier, our chat is just going nuts over here. I mean, they're all coming in.
Yes.
Lots of questions, lots of questions. So this was a fantastic episode.
If we didn't get to something, I'll go back and look and make sure we get it to Belinda if I missed a question in here today. But before we leave today, we want to tell you about our favorite thing that we do here at Content Marketing Institute, and that is we put on Content Marketing World. So we hope you will join us, right, JK?
That's right. You know, I cannot say enough about sunny San Diego. And we'll be back there again, September 15th through 17th, Content Marketing World. Our early bird rates are still going on, so hurry up and grab your ticket. You do not want to miss this show. We had such a blast last year. Our agenda is now live. If you want to pop over to contentmarketingworld.com, check out the wonderful list of speakers we have. Like I said, the early bird's still going, so get your behind to San Diego. You will not regret it. I mean, it's sunny, it's beautiful.
Yeah.
It's the ocean. It's orange.
Yes. Yeah, it's great food, great weather. We love it there. So yeah, head over to contentmarketingworld.com. We have the agenda. We'll keep adding speakers as we go along here. So we're always updating it. So be sure to check it out. So that is a lot that we had today. So that's all we got.
Yeah. I might wear my Elvis costume, by the way. Just for the heck of it.
Last year we did it because it was around Halloween, but It's earlier this year. So JK just likes to have that costume and likes to wear it. So I think you can walk around the convention center actually with it on. I
think I should.
I bet you'd get a lot of people coming up to you. All right. So that's all we have for today. We will be back next month for another episode. So look for that. Until then, everyone have a great day. JK, you as well. I'll see you next time.
Thank you. See you later. Take care, everybody.